All right, everybody, welcome back to Bourbon Banter Evans. Justin, what are we doing today?
Hey, we've had a couple of requests. Let's talk about some glassware to mix with your bourbon. You got to have something to put it in. Sometimes, I guess you could pull straight from the bottle.
Yeah.
I've been known to do some crazier things. But let's talk about some nice glasses, and then let's pair it with some good bourbons and see what you guys think as far as what your favorite glass to put your bourbon in, and then what you like to put your bourbon in as far as all the different styles of glass that are out there.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, and guys, we're back. We took a little hiatus. Life kind of happened a little bit, but we're hoping to get back on our normal schedule. Hopefully, you'll see about a video a week or however it happens.
Every other couple weeks, depending on.
Yep.
But life did happen. We made it through. A couple of minor surgeries, a little bit of sickness, a little bit of scooter accidents, things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm healing up, though. Don't worry.
Same here.
Yeah. And so we are back at it. So Bourbon Banter Evans is back. Hope you guys enjoyed the other one. Sorry for the hiatus, but I say we have a good time and talk about some glassware.
Sounds good. Hey, remember, guys, like, subscribe.
Yeah, hit the button, I think is what you call it.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about some bourbons and then the glasses to put them in.
All
So,
right.
as you guys know, there's plenty of different glassware and all kind of different features and functions that these glasses serve for tasting, nosing, and trying different bourbons. That being said, we've got a couple of really good brands here in front of us tonight. We're going to walk through them, talk through them, and then we're going to, how about we try them?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, so first off, we've got 1792 12-year. One of my favorite 1792s of all time.
Great 12 years.
Great 12-year,
Yeah,
great bourbon.
Great bourbon, period.
Then we've got the E.H. Taylor Warehouse C.
Can't go wrong if you can find it.
If you can find it, Warehouse C, thanks to whoever donated that bottle for this video.
Yes, indeed.
And hopefully we'll be doing best of 2021. We know it's 2022, but we're still getting in bourbons from 2021. Check those laser codes, the L21s. Best of 2021. I have a feeling that's going to be related.
I think so.
Just saying.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I have a thought of who's going to win, but I'll keep that to myself.
So then we've got the Elmer 100-year anniversary.
Yes.
That's not a bad one or a shabby one to check out, and we'll talk about that one. Then we have our new fancy, this is Charles's house and location, so this is his control bottle and his Old Fitz decanter, which these are great decanters. If you get it Old Fitz and you finish it, because it's really decent whiskey, sometimes it's really great whiskey, sometimes it's okay.
Yeah.
But the 11 I thought was really good. And so this is his decanter for the control. Welcome to the control. Welcome back in your new fancy decanter. I like you a lot because that decanter bottle is sweet.
Yes, it is.
I mean, you can't
It's a
deny
great
it.
bottle.
Yeah, and I mean, check out the 40s, 50s, and 60s decanters that Old Fitz did. Check out the 70s and 80s too. They did some really cool decanters. Moving on, we have
But also glassware.
an all-time, favorite of many
Yes.
in the Weller line, the CYPB. So we'll try that one tonight, hopefully. Maybe, depends. It just depends on what we decide to put in these fancy glasses. One of my go-tos.
Yes. Just a great drinker.
Old
VOB? 86?
Old favorite. Yep.
Hard to find.
Yeah, that's a shame too. But old favorite in the daily go-tos when after you have a nice one, treat yourself. Varial Barton 86er, my favorite 86er.
Yes. It's a great 86er. And guess where that one? I had to go all the way to Kansas to find it.
Hey, man, I'm just glad you brought it back for us to try. Thank
I
you so
know.
much for that. And then do a little bit of source. Let's do a little bit of source, possibly tanked, a little bit of 15-year barrel proof, barrel strength, Prideful Goat, as I call it, Das Goat.
Have not had it. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes, I am definitely looking forward to you trying to. It's going to be good. So, moving right along, I say we go ahead and hit the mini Glens. If you guys aren't familiar with what a mini Glen is, that is these right here. This is the miniature version of a Glencairn. So, Glencairn is a specific whiskey that the guy's name was Glencairn that he invented specifically for nosing and for tasting whiskey and getting the full experience. So think of this like a chimenea. You know what a chimenea is?
Sure do.
Like in your backyard.
Mm-hmm.
One of my best memories of a chimenea was in college. We'd throw fire in there, throw logs in there, light them on fire. You have a nice little chimenea. You're sitting up back, having some pours.
Yeah.
You take a couple of lighters. Probably shouldn't tell people to do this. You tape them together, you throw them in the chimenea, and just like this, it just straight out fireworks.
Yep.
So cool, didn't do any damage. But think of it as a bulbous funneling of the heat, and then it comes up that chimney like this. So think of it like that. We've talked about this before, I think, mentioned a little bit.
Yeah.
Glencairn, designed for nosing. This is the mini version, and it funnels all that great nosing characters and smell and everything right there to where you are. Obviously, we always go like this.
Yep.
and crack your mouth, preferably, to get all your olfactory in there. Now, this is a mini version, which we think is super cool. So I say we do a little bit of warehouse C, and I'll pour and let you mention a little bit more about the
good.
blends.
Yeah, what I'm looking at it right here is, honestly, I'm thinking, and I've only had mini Glen. I've only had bourbon out of mini Glen one other time, and can't really remember it too well. I don't. It's been a while, so I'm thinking it's probably going to be a little bit more concentrated smell than a.
I think so, because it's a smaller.
Yep.
So I could see the more concentrated. It's not going to be as easy to nose because it's a smaller opening.
Right. But to me, you put it right there. But the other thing I love about it, that's what, maybe an ounce.
Maybe.
I know.
I mean, hashtag Keenan pour
Yes.
and then Glencairn. My hand is so large it looks like that's the coolest part about these mini Glens.
And it makes you think, oh man, I just poured myself a huge Keenan pour right there. But you know what? No, you did probably a great 1 ounce pour.
Yeah. Well, thank you again. We took it easy on your warehouse C. Thank you again for the bottle.
Yep.
If anybody else wants to send us a bottle or anything like that to try, we send the bottle back.
Yes,
and by
we do.
sending, I mean like if you want to meet up with us, we'll review it. If you want us to review it, we'll just talk about it. If you want us to talk about it, if you want to join in with us.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, again, like, subscribe. That's the easiest way. Get in touch with us in the comments. Sorry.
Uncut, unfiltered.
Uncut, unfiltered. So
Just like some of this whiskey.
Yes, indeed.
So been a while. So cheers. Let's
Cheers.
take a nose of this and the mini Glen.
Ooh.
Oh, that's super concentrated.
It is.
So that's what's really cool about these mini Glencairns, which we call mini Glen.
Yeah,
It's like it's like it moves the liquid right up next to your nose.
It does.
But then it has a smaller funnel because it is a miniature version. And to give you an idea, if you couldn't tell, we'll move it in on the size. So hopefully that shows up well on camera because this one's clear. But
yeah, it's substantially smaller. But I'll tell you what, on that one, I'm just getting straight sweetness on that.
Yeah. A slight bit of ethanol, but very slight, but
Very.
nice and sweet. Like this is like some premium hand-picked small batch
Yes.
to be called the Warehouse C.
Yeah.
My guess is this is going to be the equivalent of a bunch of what the age is. It's a 10-year. It's an age-stated 10-year. So
Right.
think of a bunch of the Taylor single barrels that they put into a batch from the Warehouse
From the Warehouse C, yeah.
All right, let's try this bad boy.
Definitely.
I must admit,
Ooh.
that is nice, but drinking from a glass this small makes me feel like I'm going to crush it.
I know. I that's why I'm like trying to just hold on to the bottom. I'm like, okay.
But can you admit these are great to go Glencairns?
They're fun.
And they're compact, so they pack easy. If you're going to go somewhere and you wanted a Glen, this is the way to go.
Or if you have a very high-end bottle and you're afraid your friends are going to drink the mess out of it, hey, guess what? There you go. Get you a bunch of mini Glens.
Yeah, mini Glens.
There you go.
All right, so if you guys are curious about some of the tasting notes of Warehouse C Taylor from 2021, you're going to get this classic BT1 right up front.
Yes.
You're going to get those dried fruits, figs, dates, and things like that. They're fantastic. It rolls down good. Think of the best small batch you've had or a really good single barrel, which recently the small batch has beaten out the single barrel for us.
It has.
Think of a premium picked version of a Taylor that meets those standards and then batch it together from Warehouse C around 10 years. And that's essentially what I'm getting. Not that I'm saying I've had this before, but I'm getting that classic BT1, but like a premium selected version.
Yeah.
Like hand-picked, like, oh, these barrels were a little bit different. Let's make something special out of it. Yes, some people said the Warehouse C is gimmicky, but going back to the roots and the origins to Taylor, it's no more gimmicky than Warehouse H for Blanton's.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, a lot of bourbons nowadays are kind of gimmicky.
It's got such a sweet, mild nose.
It does.
It is so amazing.
But a lot of times you'll get a bourbon that the nose is phenomenal, but then you'll go and you'll try it and it doesn't own up to the nose.
Right, and
this one does.
And Charles can verify. I've been known to pick pretty good barrels.
Yeah,
decent. Some would say they're drinkable.
Maybe.
With some most amazing flat noses.
Yes.
But it's all about what's on the taste. So I mean, just because the nose is great, like you said, doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna turn over. But this one does.
This one does. That's what I want to do. You know how we always talk about just take one of these, set it out. And
that was the perfect size for 3 sips.
Yeah. I mean, just take one of these, set it out, and then just take that, put it into a candle. If you can take that smell, this would be amazing.
It just, the sweetness to it,
it's
the balance. It doesn't have any pepper or any of that other stuff that some people have said in the past, which I don't understand and don't get on this. And that's only a rare situation I've heard that. It doesn't have that lingering spice that some of the Taylor barrel picks I've had in the past. But those are unique ones, not a typical. This is a standard,
Yes.
relatable, stays with the normal profile, but a premium version of that Taylor.
The spices on Taylor, usually it's only the barrel picks that I've seen.
Yeah.
The store picks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, one glass that we haven't mentioned, so let's go ahead and segue to the next one.
All right.
The rocks glass.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm using a true Scotch rocks glass.
Yep.
And you using also a rocks glass, but notice the difference in the shapes.
Yes.
So that's
This is the Clover.
the Clover Bourbon
Rocks glass.
And this is what we're using for water. So,
Just a nice little clean the palate.
oh yeah. All right. Moving on, I say we go on to the next bourbon. Hope you guys get a chance to try some Warehouse C. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, if you can get it, guys, it's a premium. It's worth the retail on it if you can get it.
Sure.
For me, I'd go a little over retail, but that's just me. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what I'd go over, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I say you work hard, you play hard. You
Yep.
you work what you earn for. You earn what you work for. No, uncut, unfiltered.
Yep.
So spend it how you want to.
Exactly.
That's a good bourbon, and for anybody that says it's not good, I understand. I couldn't get one either, and I understand. I don't think it's good now either because I couldn't get one. They're just feelings are hurt, but it's good. Okay.
It's good, and guess what? If you don't like it, the thing is, everybody's taste is different. That's what I love about this whole thing is just because I like something doesn't mean you're going to like it.
All right, Charles, let's move on to the Glen.
All right.
All right, the true full-size Glencairn.
All right.
How are we looking on time?
We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Plenty of time. All right. So now we're going to be moving on to
Ooh.
Das Goat.
Das Goat.
Yep. And I'll let Charles do a little bit of talking if he knows a little bit about this. If he doesn't, then...
I actually, I don't know much about it. It is sourced. It is 15 year. Other than that, we were looking for one for a while, and thank you to our donor for this. Again, it's hard to find, and
I think you did pretty good on those.
You did a great job.
Is it about...
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay.
Looks perfect to me. But you know more about this than I do.
All right,
why don't you explain a little bit
all
more?
right, the Prideful Goat, it's a cash strength. It uses that all famous specific probable, what they're saying is the tanked mash bill, which is at 78.5 corn, 13 rye, and 8.5 barley. And so 15-year custom mash. I think one thing, some people think other things.
Okay.
I think I know where it comes from, but it doesn't matter. All we know is whether we like it or not. So I'm not saying I don't have an idea of why I like this one so much, but it's got a very classic taste and a very classic nose.
Yeah.
So there are many people out there that want to say it's this mash or that mash, or I shouldn't say this mash, it's that distillate, this distillate, and source. We do know it's source, we know that. It's a 15-year. It's going to have some barrel dankness to it. It's a cash strength.
Yeah.
It's going to have some proof to it. Mind you read off the proof?
The proof right there would be 114.2.
So it's not low, but most of this tanked, if this is from the same thing, is all around that 112 plus proof point. So that just kind of tells you it probably comes from that same source.
Which 114 is actually, to me, is...
It's a low cash.
Yeah, it's a low cash. Yeah.
So moving into the Glen, the reason we chose the Prideful Goat, or as I call it, Das Goat, for the Glencairn is because they are specifically designed for nosing.
Yep.
The Prideful Goat is a cash strength.
Yep.
We know that. So we're going to go and roll this around to light up a little bit, but not too much, because remember we talked about this in the past. If you light it up a whole lot, you're going to get a burst of ethanol. Well, this is a cash strength, so you're going to get that burst. So we kind of nose it, roll it around both sides, because your brains read left to right, or I mean crosses, not
Crosses,
left to right.
yep. Yeah. But no, little easier to nose on this one, because than the Mini Glen, because you've got more area.
You got to think of it, it's not as concentrated, but you got that bulb that's sitting down here. It's a larger bulb for that just to sit, and then the vapors as they're coming up in the nose that you get. And so if you get too much ethanol, where feel like you burn, just do a slight puff of air.
Yeah.
And it'll just blow that ethanol right out.
I'm not getting ethanol at all on this.
Oh, okay. Well, let's try.
Okay, nope, there it is. I got a little bit on that one. Ooh. I do get that little dank smell.
Oh. Man, we just completely switched distilleries, no doubt. We don't have to worry about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If you don't mind paying the price for the Prideful Goat, it is good.
Ooh, man. Ooh,
and it has opened up.
That finish.
Yes, and it builds.
Yes, it does.
You get the slightest bit of a warmth.
On the tip.
Yes, on the tip. And that, to me, tells you that's part of that dankness and the way they did the cash strength.
Yep.
But it does not sit there and drink like a 114 proof by any stretch. But the character, the notes, the flavors, it's all there.
It just rolls on the back. And then you just, as it rolls back, you're getting different. You're getting the different flavors and everything.
And then when you wait for it just a second to come back, you kind of move your tongue to the top of your palate, then you get this little bit of hint of a very nice, not a cinnamon, but almost like a slight baking spice on the tip.
It's not a cinnamon.
No.
I mean, I can tell you which one on this table is going to be cinnamon, and we'll probably get to it. One of us will probably have it tonight, and we'll get there. But it's definitely not a cinnamon.
No.
I would say it's all. Sometimes I want to say it's like a clove, but it's not really a clove.
This one, see, if this is what I think it is, based off of what we have done a little bit of research on and who the source came from, clove is not in that profile.
Yeah.
But there's a slight baking spice of some sort, and
And
it's
I like that.
very nice.
I like that baking spice because a lot of times I equate like clove for some reason for baking spice.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree. Clove and baking spice goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
But to me, clove's got a little bit more going on.
It does.
Baking spice is a little bit lighter.
Yep.
And cinnamon is like, okay, it's cinnamon.
Well, yeah,
cinnamon is, you know, it's like, does this taste like Fireball? Maybe not. Oh, you know what we forgot to mention?
If that tasted like Fireball, I'd drink the heck out of that all the time.
Oh my God, yeah.
Fireball. Yeah.
I forgot to mention, I am sporting my new bourbon shirt.
Will it?
Welcome to Willet. This is a really cool shirt, I think.
That is an awesome shirt. Did you get it?
At
Willet?
the distillery.
At the distillery. Okay.
At Willet, the gift shop. But let's verify, do I have bourbon socks on?
Yes, you do have bourbon socks on.
It looks like a little set of 5 keys to me.
Yes, it does.
So a little blade and bow action on the bourbon socks. We almost forgot to leave out my awesome socks.
Yep.
By the way, if you guys have any socks that you want me to try to find and wear for these videos, you just put that in the comments. Let us know. Reach out to us.
I'm starting to think I'm going to have to start getting some bourbon socks.
Bourbon socks are the way to go. If you guys don't have bourbon socks in your lives, you should get those.
Yeah.
Larceny, Elijah Craig, 1792, Van Winkle, Blade and Bow. They all have cool socks. Yeah.
Winkle socks.
I've got a pair.
You have a pair?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done those before. Man, this is good. I'm impressed.
Digging the goat?
Yes.
You know what I'm going to do?
Digging das Goat.
I'm going to leave that little bit in there.
I'm taking one more sip, excuse me.
And I'm going to go on to the next one, and I think I'll come back and maybe do a couple of side-by-sides with some of these just to compare it with Das Goat.
Ah, good idea.
So I'm going to put that right back there.
All right, I'll put mine too.
On to the rocks glass of water.
Yes. And so then I'm going to segue to our next glass.
All right, let us know.
Which is the hybrid Glen, alternative Glen, whatever you want to call it. We really don't know what the official name of this glass is.
I like your name, Hybrid Glen.
The hybrid Glen.
Look at the slight differences while he's talking about it.
Yeah, so guys, honestly, if you know what the official name is of this type of glass, please put it in the comments and let us know. And just educate us a little bit.
We don't know the official name.
No, and we looked it up too.
Yeah, and I couldn't necessarily find it. I've been drinking out of this for a little while. Really, really like these.
It's a cool looking
Another
glass.
good nosing glass, and it's got good, thickness to it, so it's feel like it's solid.
Yes, definitely sturdy.
But I like Charles's name, the Hybrid Glen, because if you look at it, it's got a little bit of a bulb. Mm-hmm. It's got a little bit of the funnel going up that gets smaller. I can nose out of it really well.
Just not as tall as
it. Yeah, just not as tall.
Yeah.
And so I like that Hybrid Glen. But wonder what the official name is.
Yeah, but I do like that it is a little bit thicker walls on it.
Yes. I feel like I can really, drop it and not.
Yeah, or
have tears.
or sit there and cheers, and you're not gonna ka-ching and break it.
All right.
All right. So
what are we doing next? Well, you keep on going.
I think that's good for this. What do you think? You want to do pick your own?
Let's do it. Let's say this is a nicer glass, so I say we pick our own.
Okay.
And go from there. What might you be picking?
I think I'm gonna go CYPB.
All right, CYPB
yep.
it up.
And so
I don't think I'm gonna go CYPB.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go 1792 12 year.
12 year it is. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so 1792 12 is going in what we are calling the Hybrid Glen.
Yep.
And Charles is going to do a little CYPB. So this is going to be the first time in a while that we're going to be discussing what it is in the glass, but two different bourbons at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's been a while. It's been a while since I've had CYPB.
Right, so. And don't forget the control. Everything is still versus the control. And if anybody wants to challenge our control or anything else, don't forget we still do bourbon court. It just has been a while since we've done that. If you need to be a judge or want to be a judge, you take your favorite bourbon or whatever and challenge us to see if you can beat us. And talking to a judge and convince them why your bourbon or why our bourbon is better than yours.
Or if you have
it's a fun time.
Or if you have any suggestions other than our control, just like we did the first one. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I went with a light pour on that one.
Well, I was going to leave a little bit for the.
Yeah.
There's a reason I went for the 1792.
Understand?
Yeah.
Understand. Ooh.
Oh man.
That's the Weller nose.
Is it?
It's
I'm
the
going to have to
Weller
go
nose.
out of the bottle for it.
It's the Weller nose.
Oh, that's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a 2021 CYPB, and we all know there's certain batches that go into the CYPBs. We all know what they stand for, Craft Your Perfect Bourbon. This is a L21 code. We've already verified it. And then this is also different than the first ones I ever tried in 2018, which I believe was the first one that came out. I was definitely not a fan of the 18 CYPB, but the 2021 has changed my mind. On Bourbon Banter, we posted a photo not too long ago when the bottle was opened. It was Keenan's purple photo that everybody gave me a hard time about. But it looked really cool, I thought. But
I thought it was great.
I thought it looked cool. So this has changed my mind in the CYPB world. I no longer, bash it, which I didn't really bash. I just said it wasn't preferred.
But 19 to me wasn't. I didn't try the 18. The 19 to me, I was not that impressed. I mean, to be honest with you, I thought some of the other Weller lines that they have,
Oh, for sure. I agree.
We're better. We're better. A lot better.
I agree with you 100%. They were definitely better. But this CYPB, this year, this batch, it turned out really nice.
Man, that's just like straight.
It's going to be kind of different. Now, Charles is very well versed in 1792-12.
Oh, it's my. If I could find this, if I could afford to have it as a daily drinker, it would be my daily drinker if I could find it. I love it.
So this is actually Charles' bottle, so thank you for that.
Yeah, anytime.
And this was a gift to me, so this is my bottle.
Yep.
So these weren't the other bottles. These are actually ours, so we're a little bit more, willing with those.
Exactly.
So.
And I'll tell you what, out of 1792, I love the 1792 line. The 12 year to me is just
it's top notch. It's that and the 225th, which is not all available. That 225th and the 1792-12 are to me are lights out. So.
And the 225th, I've only had maybe about an ounce pour of that, and I was very impressed with it. I mean, first time I had it probably about 3 months ago.
It's got an overwhelming fruit notes. Reminds me of a little bit of a pear going on with a 10-year.
Kind of similar to this. It got a fruity on the CYPB.
Does it have a little bit of fruit?
Yeah,
okay.
to me.
So I'm doing, keep in mind, 1792-12, he's doing CYPB. This has the classic, earthy 1792 notes that you get. It just reminds me of you can do anything with this bourbon. It doesn't matter if you're drinking it neat, if you're drinking it on the rocks, if you're drinking it with soda for whatever reason, or if you're making a cocktail. Now, this would be a really nice cocktail if you did a 12-year. Not to say that 12 is better than 8. It just depends on where you are in that profile and the aging of the barrels. This would be probably overdone in some cocktails because it's too dank, but you still get a little bit of that barrel dankness, and you still get that earthiness, which just is well-rounded.
And this one is a 20 also.
Is it 20?
Yep.
Now, from what I remember, see if you're hearing that, the CYPB's got more of a brightness to it.
It does. A lot more. You don't get really the oakiness as much or anything. It is very bright. It is, I'm going to have to go back for a second try of it, but it is totally different from the 19 from what I remember. I mean,
it's
that
completely
19,
different.
I would never drain dump a CYPB. It just was not my flavor. I did not, the taste to me, just the 19 was not good.
Yeah, this 21 is. It turned me around.
Yeah, I'm not.
I give, and I say it. I know your palate changes every 3 years or so. Give credit where credit is due. I give credit.
See, the finish on the 19 to me was real ethanol and everything. This
lightens up. This did not have the ethanol that 18 had. 18 was hot.
No, this one is. Finish one is good.
And if I remember correctly, these are 95 proof, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
95 proof.
95.
Yeah. Look at that. I'm still a library of information.
It has the Whaler. Boston Whaler. It has the Weller taste to it, but the finish on it is totally different from a lot of the Wellers that I've had.
Yeah, it's amazing the difference. Now, keep in mind, these are still from the higher Rick and still 8 years.
Yeah.
And so you get a little bit more age out of it, but you get that. The difference in barrel placement from here
it's amazing.
to here is night and day.
It is amazing. I'll tell you what, it's not, the Weller 12 has that oakiness and everything to it. That is good.
But Weller 12 is like velvet, though.
It is. It is.
This has a little bit more roughage. Like
this one's got,
not as well-rounded corners,
No, but it just, like you said, I like that. But it's bright. It's bright.
Yes. It's got, yeah. Well, I'm going to do one more sip of the 12, and I'm going to put it down, and we'll say we segue to the next one, because I know what you're doing. To save a little bit of this.
I know what you're doing with that one. All right. So now what I'm thinking is I'll let you explain this glass. But to me, I love this glass. This glass to me is just cool.
It's fantastic. Are we about to get bougie with glassware?
I think we are.
Okay, let's
do bougie. Let's do it.
Well, then I say we segue over into the Norland glass, which everybody knows I'm way partial to the black Norland, because when you pour any whiskey in this thing, it looks like it is on fire inside the glass. And I'm going to do the best I can do to approach that camera and show you guys. I've done this live once before.
Yep.
But look at this double wall lined Norland glass.
Yeah.
Golly, Norland's going to really get mad at me for that. Norland glass. It is fantastic. It is a great nosing glass. It is specifically designed for nosing and tasting whiskey. The main problem is it's thick.
Yeah.
So you have to get past that thickness of your lips going on it, and I have a tendency to spill and still trying to figure that out. If you guys have figured out how to do that with a Norland glass, by all means, please tell me how. I'm still learning. Even though I've been doing these for years, it was a gift, but I'm going to pour this in there and show this on camera because this camera is amazing. Now,
that is an awesome glass.
Can I interject a little bit more information?
Go for it, man.
Did you guys know that when you get these fancy Norland glasses, no dishwashers?
Did not know that.
No ice cubes.
Oh, no.
Neat only to care for your glass. When it is done being hand washed, it comes with a actual polishing towel. And it's about yay big.
So in other words, you better like your bourbon or whiskey neat.
Neat. These are designed specifically for neat.
Okay.
That is what Norland has made.
Well,
and they've made a great job of doing it. I don't mind putting the extra labor in.
No, and it
'cause
makes
tastes
sense.
great out of
Thin
it.
walls.
Thin walls.
Thin walls.
Yeah.
Kind of like
now,
a-
I've heard several people put them in the dishwasher and it survives, no problem. I'm not saying I recommend it. I just don't do it. These are all hand washed and hand polished from me.
for the price of them, I probably would.
Right.
Yeah.
So I say, if it's my turn,
Go for it.
I'm gonna get some water
Yes, I am too.
and I'm gonna pick them again. So I say we pick the bourbon we put in
Ooh.
there. Are you good with that?
I'm good with it.
Everything's on the table because the Norland is designed for anything neat. So I recommend anything neat on the table.
You know what? What are you gonna go with?
I haven't had it in a while, and I'm gonna revisit it. I'm gonna do Elmer.
Go for it.
Everybody, for the most part, knows I'm not a huge Elmer fan, but Elmer 100th anniversary, completely different.
Totally different.
All right, so I've picked mine.
Yep.
What is yours?
You know what? I'm gonna go with a good old 12-year.
Oh man, hey, I know for a fact that 1792 12 out of Norland is good.
Oh yeah.
I've had a bottle of that once.
Or twice.
Or twice. Oh man, Charles.
I know. I haven't turned it upside down in a while. My bad.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna pour it in here. The hardest part about pouring bourbon into a black Norland is knowing how much you've poured in there.
Keen and pour.
Hashtag Keen and pour. I don't know what that is, and I'm gonna look at that.
Oh man, that does look like fire.
It looks like it is on fire.
It does. That is just, to me, that is just
show
the,
that.
the
Look at
presentation right here, guys. It's hard, but it's just it's floating. Your liquor is floating in there. It's amazing.
Now, I'm not saying that everybody has to drink bourbon. I'm sure you could do vodka.
Vodka, yeah, but vodka in a clear
you could
one.
do rum, an aged rum,
You're gonna-
a nice sipping rum.
You're gonna need something dark.
But look at that. The
Is it-
Norland glass is on fire because of the way it actually dances around that black. And see how look at that. It looks like fireworks are going off in
That's
a
pretty
brown world of amazing juice. For all the people that don't say juice, by the way, this stuff is still juice.
It's juice.
Tater.
Yeah,
Back to that term I hate.
We'll be
Look at the
taters.
way- I mean, I can't sit there and talk about this, how awesome it is enough.
Is it showing up pretty good on the
It's
camera?
showing up really good. Yeah.
That's awesome. No,
Just so you know, that is no see-through.
no, definitely not. To me, it's an awesome glass.
No, I love it. Now, again, back to what we were talking about as I scoot back in. Sorry for the creaking and cracking of my knees.
Or the chair.
Is finding, and each one of these has an actual area where the thinner parts combine, and that's where I found is the best place to sip from. On a Norland glass, if you're looking for it, you can actually rotate it around your lips until you find the thinner part. It's more like a lip, and I spill less that way because it is still thicker,
Okay.
and that's one of the complaints that I've heard in the Norland glass location. And so I kind of just, as I'm drinking, I'll kind of rotate it around until I try to find it.
Well,
and
you
whatever's
can
more
kind of see
comfortable.
there is a seam, a very small seam.
Oh
in this,
man, but don't forget these still are designed for nosing.
Oh yeah.
It opens up a little bit more than the Glen and doesn't have the bulb. The way these are shaped, which you can see.
Yeah, it's
if
just
you look down in there, it has a bulb,
very small,
but it's very small, and then it kind of stays around the same going up, and so they nose very good.
and it does flare. See, what's a little different is it seems to flare at the top a little bit.
It kind of goes up. Yeah. Great glasses to nose with. I get.
Ooh. Man, I am surprised that I've always thought a Glen would probably be the best. I'm impressed.
I've kind of switched to New Orleans for nosing in the past. I've gone back to Glens constantly because they're still very good. It's like the OG.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I can tell you this right now. He's on a different bourbon than I am. He's trying the 12 after I just did from 1792, and I'm on Elmer. This I've forgotten about. There's a little bit of licorice.
Are you getting a little bit of that? What is that? Anise.
Anise. Yeah. Not Justin's favorite.
Now, I'm not a big licorice fan either.
Yeah. And I have a feeling I'm going to get a little bit of cinnamon, just for the record.
You don't get it on the nose, though, do you?
No. All right, here we go.
Oh, that is definitely 12 year.
You see what I'm talking about when you tilt it back? You feel like you're going to spill it. You got to like get accustomed to that double wall.
Oh, man.
It's like a cinnamon tea.
So that's the one I was talking about. The one cinnamon. This is really, out of a lot of the bourbons that I've tried, this one is really the only one that I've really gotten that boom, just cinnamon right off.
It's not near as bad as the Willet. I think it's the 80th anniversary.
Oh,
that's like drinking Fireball mixed with a bourbon.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
That one I was not a fan of.
No, this one's actually pretty good though. For an Elmer, this gives me more off character than standard BT2 in an Elmer. Yeah. And I kind of am gonna say that this is definitely drinkable. Yeah. Whereas standard Elmer is just, I'm bourbon, I'm BT2. This has got some character to it. This got something different.
It's different, and I like it. But to me, tell me if I'm wrong, it finishes great. It's not the finish on it is not bad at all. It's not harsh.
No. Now, to me, with it being 100 proof, because I think that's also 100 anniversary and 100 proof. Is that correct? Yep.
Yes, you are.
It drinks easily in the 90s.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah, it doesn't drink much lower than 100.
No,
but
it doesn't. It's not
the rest of the spice that you get, the warmth that's going around in BT2. It drinks similar to the proof, but it's a good flavor though. It's not that right there.
I love it.
It's just so good. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, by all means. At this point, cheers to you guys. If you like what we're doing, like and subscribe. Like he always talks about,
please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and please let us know what you think. Hit the comments. Tell us in the comments what you like. Honestly, tell us what you'd like for us to see, or you'd like for us to do. See for us to do. Well, golly, I can't talk.
Uncut, unfiltered.
Uncut, unfiltered. But
hey, it's been a long hiatus.
Yeah, we're trying to.
We'll get back in the swing of things.
We're trying to get it back. Get back into it. But honestly, guys. Any ideas you have, please let us know in the comments. And
this was actually an idea sent to us. The glassware was an idea that sent to us, yeah. And so now the best of 21 is still coming up. We're going to send out an invite to somebody and then hope that they're going to join for the best of 21. There's a reason that one of these bottles on the table has been mentioned for best of 21. And it's going to be a cool video. It's going to be a fun tasting event.
Yes, it is.
And we might even venture out to add a fourth person just so they can try the bourbons with us and give their honest thoughts on camera.
That would be great.
Other than the three that have had it and have rated it and thought about it, we haven't rated any of these. We've talked about the character and so on and so forth. We're going to rate them in a second.
Sounds good to me.
Side note.
That works.
So I'm going to take one last sip of this and put it over here for the side-by-side later. I'm not saying we're doing the side-by-side on camera, but we could still do a rapid fire if we need to. But back to that best of 2021, if we have a fourth person that hasn't tried them, bam. Now we got a clear mind of what they think of what we thought was the best of 2021.
Right. And I'll tell you what, guys, honestly, we might not get to all the bourbons on here. You can't go wrong with any of these.
No, and there's a reason that we picked VOB, because that would be the one that we go to. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick segue to our rocks glass that we're drinking water out of. This right here is one of my favorites to drink out of a rocks glass over a small ice cube.
Yes, indeed.
And you can mix it if you want to mix it.
I mean, because price point on it, holy cow, it is so inexpensive, and it's such a good drink.
Oh, fantastic. Now, also, you have highballs. We didn't talk about highball glass. We do have a highball glass, and I'm going to put him on blast because I saw it in this cabinet, even though we didn't take it out.
Go for it.
This is a great highball glass. And I'm just going to grab one, and I'll do a little close-up.
Yep.
So, he has Christmas highball glasses.
Yeah, it's the 12th day of Christmas.
12 days of Christmas. Check that out. That's an actual highball glass. And so they're a little bit thinner or skinnier, and they're taller, and they hold at least 8 ounces generally, and they're designed for cocktails. So if you want to do a bourbon and soda
Or anything.
or whatever, that's a highball glass. And so
Christmas time, milk punch.
Yeah, we didn't have that out here just because we were using the rocks glass as our water glass. But to be honest with you, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna finish this water real quick,
Go for it.
and I'm gonna go to the control.
So I'm curious. We've kind of talked about the glasses.
Yes, I think we have. I think we did a
A few.
pretty good amount of glasses, but there's one that we're forgetting. But go on.
We are forgetting, and so well then maybe I should wait. But no, I'm gonna go ahead. As of right now, I'll just ask you: Is there a favorite?
There is a favorite, and I gotta be honest with you. You're actually drinking, not right now, currently, out of a favorite and my go-to. And so that's another question I would have for you guys is what is your go-to glass for drinking bourbon? Now, we have a lot of fancy glassware, don't get me wrong.
Yep.
When I invite people over and I'm doing a tasting, it's usually a Glencairn because I have more of those.
Exactly.
If I had a perfect opportunity of washing dishes, it would always be the Norland.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down, I would drink out of that every time, especially if I'm doing neat. But versatility-wise, I am a big rocks glass fan.
Yeah, I'll tell you
So
what.
that right there is that perfect shape. But I forgot to mention the Canada Glencairn.
That's right.
So I'm not going to drink the Control.
There you go.
It's okay if I drink the Control out of the can. So this is the Canada Glencairn or the Canadian Glencairn.
Canadian, yes.
Look at the difference here. Much larger, much wider opening, similar idea, bulb, and if you want to
Very
call it
similar.
flute almost.
Very. And the shape is definitely, it does come to a more pronounced, chimney.
It does, yeah, it does. Now, as much as we love Old Fitz that we've talked about, we love their corks.
Their cork,
These are great decanters, and keep in mind, as much as I wish I was about to pour Old Fitz 11,
I know.
This is our Control, and so we still have people trying to guess that and figure that out. By all means, come over, try it, see if you can figure it out.
And if you have any guesses, put it in the comments. Guess what? We won't tell you. But
We're not going to tell you, but we're going to look at them and we're going to have a good time and be like, well, we got to do a better job of covering that up.
Exactly. And you never know. It could be Old Fitz 11.
That's right. It really could be. What if we had a lifetime supply of Old Fitz 11?
I know.
We've already said this, that bourbon, our Control is allocated.
It is.
We didn't say to what degree.
No.
We never said what degree.
It is
But
allocated.
See the difference between the Canadian Glencairn and the regular Glencairn?
Man, look at the size of that.
Canada, A, knows what they're doing.
Yeah. B, it's almost like they're trying to be in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas, yeah. And C, they produce a lot of rye that we
Yes.
use, and they also produce a lot of other whiskeys that are older in certain bourbons. Yeah.
Well,
You talk about an easy glass to
They
nose out of.
didn't go through prohibition or anything of that nature. So,
Oh, now we're getting nerdy, can we?
hey, we nerd out. on this.
Yeah. So this is an easy glass to nose out of.
No doubt.
And our Control is fantastic. The nose is so good. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave a little bit behind.
Yep. It's kind of what I've done with all of them except for Warehouse C. That's that mini Glen.
That's that mini Glen. I mean,
Yeah. That's that 1 ounce pour.
man, that is good. It's got that standard beep. It's got that really nice bling.
It's just a good
Good.
sipper,
Yeah.
drinker. Allocated bourbon.
Not sure that we could do this, but think about it. Hashtag allocated. I didn't even think about that.
Every single one.
Every single one is definitely allocated. So we didn't talk about that tonight.
The
We
one-
wanted to go a little bit higher end.
The one that was probably the last allocated.
Yeah, at least.
Well, it was probably the last one to go on allocation too, right? Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, it depends on what state you're in.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
But I didn't even think about that. These are all allocated. We just wanted to go a little bit higher end, have some higher end bourbons tonight. So we went with a theme, and we chose these specifically for the glassware. But my question to you guys still, what's your favorite glass? Which glass and why with that specific bourbon?
And you know what my favorite glass is at a tailgate? Solo cup.
Oh.
With bourbon in it.
I had a solo cup with some of the most amazing bourbon in it before because by golly, I was not about to bring out some glassware
Exactly.
at a tailgate. And I poured some really good bourbon in it too.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't nose at all,
Nope.
but it still tastes good.
Tastes great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you guys sit there and tell us that your favorite, Big Gulp from Circle K, 72 ounce, whatever, big jug is your favorite glass, by all means, guess what the best glass that ever existed was?
The one you can drink out
The
of.
one you can drink out of.
Yep.
And so if you don't have a glass and you're in a pinch and you have no choice.
Just bottoms up.
It can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I recommend it.
I'll tell you what, probably would not. You probably get a lot more taste out of just sipping.
Just
than you
sipping,
would
just a straight pull.
Exactly.
So I say we did some good banter. We talked
yeah.
about some good glassware. I hope that you guys have good glassware and can experiment. And here's the fun part, the one thing that we didn't talk about. If there was one thing that I was going to do next, if we had more time, it would be pick one bourbon and try them in every different glass. And that's the most fun that we haven't mentioned. So I wanted to say this to the end to see if everybody makes it to the end of the video. And do this for your own homework in bourbon. Can you agree?
I agree, because you're going to get different noses out of each one of these glasses.
Take one bourbon that you like and put it in 4 different glasses and do your own flight. It will be a different flight with the same bourbon based off of the glassware, the shape, the nose, all that is different. Because it's really cool.
Your taste, majority of it comes from your smell.
Right, 90%. Actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So your favorite bourbon, after you said, wait a minute, we just heard you guys say this and talk about that, take one bourbon.
Yeah.
Same bourbon. Same bourbon.
Just exact
1,
same
2,
one.
3, 4 different glasses.
Doesn't matter what the bourbon is.
Flight of the same.
Yep.
It will change and you'll be like, I didn't even think that was possible. Mm-hmm. But it's amazing the difference your olfactory system does. Roll it back and forth, nose it left to right, nose it straight ahead, keep your mouth cracked, and then take a sip. If you want to do a 3-sip process, that's what I recommend.
Yes.
Do a 3-sip process, but just enough for that and try it in 4 different ways. Now that's 12 drinks, but if you do small pours of 3 drinks, you'll be fine. You'll see a difference for sure.
But I'll tell you what, it's amazing what the notes you could pick up differently from each glass.
Yes.
Because these are all dynamic. Everybody's olfactory senses are going to be different. You might, even your own, out of the different glass, you might pick up like a cherry note or a fruity note or something that you've never picked up on any bourbon that you've ever had before.
But
you might
the glass could change it.
Exactly.
And so I hope Charles is okay with this.
Yeah.
I'm sending them home with homework or bourbon work.
Bourbon work, and we want it in the comments. We want to know
hashtag bourbon work.
Yes.
Try the different glasses with the same bourbon and let us know what you thought if you didn't feel like you were having a different tasting each time.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and then we want to know, after you've done your bourbon work, what I want you to put in the comments. We would like for you to put in the comments what you think.
Yep. And other than that, we're going to let you guys have a good night. We're going to get to trying these side by side. We might talk about them in the next video. But for now, I say we cut this one off. Have a cheers. Cheers to you guys.
Cheers.
Thank you for everything.
Like, subscribe, people,
and,
please.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thank you guys for joining in, and we'll go to the next one.
Sounds good. Thank you.